Hey everybody, Ham Solo here, Kilo Zero Foxtrot Yankee Romeo. I am putting together a 2 meter, 70 centimeter Yagi that I got from my good friend Rich over at MFJ. And I'm going to put it on the other end of that goalpost where I have the 220 Yagi. That's where the 2 meter is going to go on this side. And so let me try to assemble it and let's see how that goes. There's a lot of parts to it. Alright, all in all, it's going to look like this when it's assembled. And this is the, believe it's Cushcraft, yeah. The A27010S, 2 meter, 70 centimeter Yagi. And here is a myriad of parts. And so I've got the first cross arm on. And going to try to get the rest of this done. Alright. So I tried to assemble the antenna, and I've got the first, what do they call them, ready match. So I got 2 meter ready match, 70 centimeter ready match, and I'm supposed to now put the elements on. However, what I've noticed is that these holes aren't drilled correctly for the screws, and so I'm having to try to drive the screw through the hole in order to get it on the other side. And so that's going to take a while if I got to do it for every one of these directors, so, or elements. We'll see what happens. Alright, I've got all of the 2 meter elements on, so down to the 70 centimeter elements. Just taking some time because I have to screw through each one of the rods, and maybe that's to keep them from rattling or something. Alright, where I'm at right now is putting the 70 centimeter elements on. So I have this one, and it goes to this hole, and I have this one, and it goes to this hole. Then I have this one, and it goes to this hole. But I'm missing the one that goes to that hole. And I started looking around the room, and I don't see any other piece, and so maybe it's still in the box. Alright, so here's what's happening. I've got most of the elements on. I am missing one of the 70 centimeter elements, and so I'm going to have to try to see if I can write off to them about that. Also, while I was tightening this, I sheared the screw end off of the connector, and so no longer can use the 70 centimeter match, or whatever they're referring to it here as, I think the ready match, yeah. So I can't use the 70 centimeter match. So let's see if I can still put it together just with the 2 meter. That's going to be a little bit weird. So let me try. Alright, so due to missing one part and then breaking another part, I'm not going to be able to use this 70 centimeter portion, which I don't really care. I wasn't planning on doing anything on sideband on 70 centimeters. So the 2 meter portion is hooked up. And so let's see if I can mount it to that flagpole outside. The ground's pretty wet, and so I'm gonna have to see if the ladder works out there in the mud, and if I can get this thing on there. I think the intent is to put it horizontal at first, just to see how is it getting out, and then try to run the wiring and everything down, and get it inside. So let's see if we can do all that. Alright, so I've got the antenna up. Got this wire hanging to the back. Alright. And it's pretty tight. This cable is a little bit short. But that's it. Sitting right there is a horizontal. And see if I can turn the camera on. So there it is. 220. I'm sorry. The 220 is that one right there. And this is the 2 meter sitting horizontal. And they're both pointed at the center of Pikes Peak. Yeah, I'm getting about a S7, S... You know, it's kind of moving around between S5 and S8 when you transmit. Sideband.
Okay. I put the compressor on it. I'm running a full 100 watts now. What is this thing picking up? Huh. The meter must be picking something up off the UHF antenna. That's what it is. Yeah, anyway, you're way better. I can hear you in the clear. It sounds really good.
Yeah, I've got a watt meter on it, and it's like I said, it goes between like say 1.7, and then it goes to 99, and then it goes to 1.7, and it's anywhere bouncing between 2 watts to maybe 20 watts.
Yeah, you just have to say a word like 4, and then you'll get it, or you can check it on CW or FM or some mode.
All right, well, it looks like this is set up right, at least in the backyard. And like I said, it's pointing straight in the middle of Pikes Peak like my 220 Yagi.
Okay, well, it's working good. It's the best pass we've had on 2 meters, I think. So, and I've got mine kind of pointed. I can't see Pikes Peak, but it's pointed in that general direction. So what frequency is this net that's coming up on?
It's supposed to be 144.220.
Okay, 220. All right, I'll get back. I was talking to a friend on DMR. I'll get back with him and come back down here and listen to see if I hear anything on 220, since you said it's coming up at 7:30, right?
Yeah, that's correct. This is the Village 7 Amateur Radio Club 220 sideband net.
Okay, I'll switch to 220 and I'll listen over there, and I'll try to keep the D-Star radio handy too, but I gotta go back upstairs and get the DMR portable. All right, I'll just listen in and see if I hear anything in my hole here.
All right.
Terrible location, but it's working. It sounds good. Very, very good signal here. Audio sounds great. K0FYR, KE0CO.
All right, thanks, Brian. Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to 220.
All right, see you later.
All right, so not sure if you can hear this person, but this is the Colorado Springs. It's called the Village 7 Amateur Radio Club single sideband net, and
okay, which would be
this is 80TP, I believe.
Here comes the brain.
And
50?
he sounds good.
Ooh,
So
well, that's not nothing to joke about. Interesting. 80TP.
yes, this is Kilo Zero Foxtrot Yankee Romeo.
All right, let me make sure I got that right. Kilo 0 Foxtrot Yankee Romeo. Is that correct?
Roger, Roger.
Okay, yeah, you're not even tickling the meter, but I am getting a full copy on you. Your name, please. Wait, were you at the meeting this morning? I'm not sure. What's your name and where are you at, please?
Yes, sir. I was at the meeting this morning. My name is Mike, and I am in Divide.
Okay, hey, Mike and Divide. Oh man, I must be catching you just perfect. I've got a 5-element beam in wide field pointed at Pikes Peak, so I must be scooting around the peak a little bit. Just out of curiosity, Mike, if you'll wait just a second, does anybody else have a copy on K0FYR? Does anybody have a stronger copy than me on him? Okay. Well, there we go. Mike's going to hang around. For everybody that did, if I didn't say enough, Mike K0FYR was at the meeting this morning. He's with the Mountain Amateur Radio Club, I believe, and he has checked in from Divide. So I will be kind of echoing each of you just to be able to relay your comments. Didn't hear anything, so we'll clear with KG5N, and we'll shoot up to Divide and see what Mike's got for the group. K0FYR, AD0TP, come on ahead, please.
Yes, sir. I just got a Yagi set up today. This is a 5-element Yagi that I have set up horizontal, pointing at the center of Pikes Peak. And so this is probably the first time I've been able to get sideband down into Colorado Springs. Enjoyed meeting everybody this morning over at the breakfast, and hopefully my signal's coming through enough that other people can hear me. I've been able to hear most everybody else's comments. K0FYR back to net.
Alrighty, sorry, I'm typing up everything so I can relay just in case. Let me relay for K0FYR to the group. Mike reports he's got a 5-element Yagi, horizontally polarized, pointed at Pikes Peak from Divide. He thinks this is his first time he's gotten single sideband down into Colorado Springs, and he says he can hear just about everybody on the net tonight, which is pretty good. Must be fairly quiet out there. And he did enjoy breakfast this morning. I think that's everything he sent. Signal report to you, Mike from Whitefield, is S3 on the needle, but 100% copy. And I'd like to note that I've got some type of man-made noise, a really good hash on this at my station tonight, which it comes and goes, and it's normally not a problem because everybody's S8 or above, typically on the net. You're down against it, but I did get 100% copy. You've got nice bright audio, and we're able to stay on top of that noise just fine with the S3 signal strength. Does anyone have any questions or comments for FYR? All right, we'll go to RSI first. Steve, come on ahead.
Yeah, Mike, I've just getting you here about an S2 to 3, Q5 copy though. So you're making it all the way out to Ellicott off that. So
Ellicott.
Good on you. K0 RSI back to net.
Single sideband net into Colorado Springs.
All right, I didn't hear anything, so we'll go ahead and clear with K0FYR.
And then he said all the way.
Just a note, Mike, not an encouragement to change anything. Before I clear with you all the way, let me stop for just a second and say, we, for whatever reason, seem to kind of stick vertically polarized on the net here. There are a couple of stations that come in horizontal, but kind of the spirit of this sideband net when we got it started 4 years ago now, I think, 5? Has it been 5? It's been 5 years. We kind of just encouraged everybody, don't worry about antennas and all that jazz, just hit the mode button and see what works. And I think because of that, most of us just kind of stuck with vertical polarization. So, not to encourage you to change anything, more so just to point out that you're an S3 cross-polarized. You and I probably have a darn good path between the two of us should our antennas ever meet polarization. I'll get back to you one more time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Actually, I'm testing this antenna out for MFJ, and I was going to do it as a slant Yagi. And so I first set it up horizontal to see how that would work down into the springs. I may tip it vertical and see how that also works. And then I think the intent was to try it at a 45-degree slant to see if that makes any difference between it being just horizontal or just vertical. So this is all a test with this new antenna.
Oh, good copy. And I'll go ahead and relay because that's probably of interest to the group as well. Mike reports he has a Yagi, something from MFJ. He's doing some testing for him. And he's actually thinking about trying it a couple of different ways just for data to see how it does. Right now he's got it horizontal. He's thinking he'll flip it vertical, and he's thinking he may go halfway between as a slant polarization just to see how all that looks. And yeah, and then my response to you for that, Mike, is one of the things that's been noted by the group here is that signal strength week to week, net to net, seems to be very stable. We don't change our stations very often, and those of us that kind of run the same thing every week, we tend to hear each other the same every week. The only thing that seems to mess with that is the amount of moisture. If we get a nice heavy snow, or if it's a real rainy kind of couple of days in the summer, we will see changes in signal strength when things are more saturated. So I think that between this week and next week and the week after, weather depending, you can probably trust the signal strength that you see reported through all of that, because we're all pretty static on the net. Go ahead.
Yeah, that sounds good. I will be able to do probably next Saturday. I've got to go to Chicago, but I should be able to do next Saturday. The following one, though, I'm headed down to San Antonio for the eclipse to try to do some activations during the solar eclipse, so I might miss the third one. And so we might have to do some propagation checks in between or something if I move it from vertical to slant. But I appreciate the offer for sure. K0FYR back to net.
All right, yeah, well, hey, we're here every Saturday, so however it works out, we'll do it. That's part of the fun of this group, meeting weekly and being more conversational as we encourage the experimentation and try to keep it normal and more of a not quite a rag chew, but we'll call it kind of a rag chew then.
All right, so where does that leave me at the end of the video? Basically, I have the 2-meter Yagi up. It's sitting at about maybe 8 to 9 feet, and it only has the 2-meter element. That's where the line is going right here, and you can see that it's not exactly straight. That little match isn't straight. It's kind of at an angle to the pole, but that's the distance that those spreaders were when I put them together, and they were kind of tight. There wasn't much screw length left in order to set it there, but that's just kind of where they were. And so sitting here in the backyard, pointing at the side of Pikes Peak, you heard the net last night, and so I was getting out, tried a 2-meter net this morning on a repeater, and horizontal didn't make any difference on that. It was super strong. The guy said the signal was really good. So no effect with it being horizontal for a big repeater like that. But on sideband, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of loss. Not too much. I'm going to wait before I turn it, because one of the other nets that happens, I believe on Monday night, is everybody's horizontal. So I'd like to see what it sounds like when everybody's horizontal. And I did have one question about how was I getting it into the house. So you can see the cable running here. So let me turn the camera around. All right, so the cable comes through, and then I have it on these Comet window pass-throughs. I know it's dirty. There's been a lot of snow, and the snow melting, it's getting dirt all over the door sill. But basically, these window pass-throughs are ribbon thin, and then I slide the sliding glass door up against them. And it'll close all the way, but I usually I have some bends in them already, so I usually set them into those bends. So let's see if I can close the door with the bends in there. And you can see that it get it closed all the way. So there's one bend right here. There's one bend right there. Get this out of the way. So they're right on top of each other. And so we've got them in the doorway. Right there, bend. And then just lock the door so it's totally closed. Antenna outside. Alright, so I've had these pass-throughs now. Let's see. These are Comet antenna CTC-50M. They are UHF connectors. And I've had the 220 Yagi on one of those for about probably 2 to 3 months now, and have seen no signal degradation. Now I have the 2 meter Yagi on one. They're right side by side, and there's been no signal problem with them being on this pass through. You know, the door closes completely and locks, and so, you know, right now it's a good deal. I may, you know, consider putting weather stripping, coax sealant on the ones on the outside of the pass through, just simply because when it does snow and then the snow melts and drips down, sometimes that gets on the window pass through. Here's the other dog. So in a nutshell, that's it right now. So 2 meter Yagi is up. It is horizontal. It was missing one of the elements for the 70 centimeter section. Come on. So it was missing an element for the 70 centimeter section. I broke the actual 70 centimeter connection, so it didn't matter that it was missing an element. 2 meter seems to work fine. It is currently horizontal. I will again update the video when I put it vertical, and probably at the same time I'll have it where I set it from vertical to a slant, so we can see if there's much of a difference, if it's better one way, the other, or the third way. And so that's the intent. And so until next time, this is Ham Solo K0FYR 73.